When thinking about some of the most important tools we use as digital artists, it's very easy to overlook the keyboard. Looking at the most popular keyboards, especially in the premium market, there are a lot of keyboards aimed at gamers, but very few in comparison aimed at creators. The keyboards that are aimed at creators often include dials or shortcut buttons, but I do find it difficult to integrate those into my workflow as I've been using a fairly standard keyboard since I started working as a digital artist. Adding some of those creator-oriented functions also tends to bulk up the keyboard, making it less practical for using on the go, if it's even compatible with more mobile devices like say an iPad. They also tend to share a similar look to the gamer-style keyboards that doesn't necessarily fit into every creator's personal aesthetic. So when I did come across the Nuphy Air 75, I was very impressed by its stylish looks, compact form factor, and standard layout. I ended up getting the Air 75 with the red switches as well as the carrying case, and altogether it was around $130 US, cheaper than if it was bought separately. Nuphy's online shop also offers alternatively colored keycaps, as well as a set of 100 switches if you decide to swap them out later. In fact, they include a tool for removing both keycaps and switches in the box, and everything is easily swappable, which makes the Air 75 a great way to get started with mechanical keyboards. If you're looking for something that's both beautiful and functional right out of the box, I think the Air 75 is one of the most attractive keyboards you could get out there right now. As far as functionality goes, it's compatible with Mac, PC, iOS, and Android, with 3 wireless profiles, as well as a 4th channel for the included dongle. And of course you also get wired connectivity via USB-C. Even with the standard layout and 75% size, Nuphy manages to keep things very compact, which was a huge selling point for me as I often enjoy going outside the house to get some typing done. Even with the compact design, the keyboard has a slight elevation towards the back as is, and you can increase the height with the included magnetic feet. Battery life is advertised as 48 hours, and with its compact size, it should make a great travel companion for those that want to take a proper keyboard with them. Everything about this keyboard is stylish and appealing to me as a creative professional. From the fun and inviting font on the keycaps to the lack of a big logo on the front of the keyboard. I think the aesthetic is suitable for office workers, and down at the cafe it'll definitely turn heads, especially with the carrying case accessory, which is something that you don't see too often, and not really an option when it comes to custom builds, at least not something like this that's a perfect fit, that doubles as a tablet stand. If you're a laptop user, the keyboard is supposed to rest fairly easily on top of 13-inch laptop keyboards, but for tablet users like me, the case that doubles as a stand is a really appealing option. Using the fastener like this to keep things secure, the stand feels very sturdy and offers a great angle for typing. It would have been nice to see multiple angles or a nice drawing angle, but this design does allow it to be used on one's lap fairly easily. Since the Nuphy Air 75 has 3 Bluetooth profiles, it's easy to line up 2 small tablets or a tablet and a phone on the stand and really get some work done, easily swapping between devices. One of my favorite aspects of this keyboard has to be the swappable keycaps and switches. The ability to easily swap parts yourself for repair or customization is always high on my list when buying new tech equipment. Giving products a longer shelf life as well as the user control over the look and feel of their daily tools feels very much in line with a creative mindset. One of the things that wasn't very apparent to me from the marketing was that while the Nuphy Air 75 offers RGB lighting, the lettering on the keycaps is opaque and does not allow light to pass through them. Apparently the keycaps were specially made to keep the keyboard's profile low, and they are the world's thinnest PBT keycaps. And just looking at the back of the keycaps, you can tell that there's very little extra room to create backlighting, and it's not something that's always offered with mechanical keyboards, so it is understandable. This does make typing in dark places very difficult though, which is honestly not something I find myself doing often with a external mechanical keyboard. Maybe it's something I look for on a laptop or more mobile device, but I do think it's worth mentioning as it's easy to overlook. Not having any branding or big logos on the face of the keyboard is really nice and refreshing, but not having any logo on the USB dongle means you could easily end up losing it or mistaking it. It's really not a huge deal, but at this price point, I would expect to have a little bit more premium experience throughout the whole product. And really the only major issue I experienced with this keyboard is probably down to my choice of switches. The red switches that I got, combined with the low profile design, gives it a little bit more of a mushy impression than I expected. This leads to the occasional missed input or double input when typing. Nuphy includes one of each switch as a tester, and after swapping out 2 of my keys, I feel that the brown switches are still fairly quiet while having more feedback and feeling a little bit less mushy. For those that are confused by this, when ordering, you get a choice of 3 switches. Blue switches give you the louder, clicky, classic mechanical keyboard experience with some tactile feedback. Brown switches give you a less clicky sound, but still have a medium actuation force. And red switches travel smoothly with little resistance and the least clicky sound. At first I thought the reds would be more in line with the type of experience I was looking for, something quieter, but it turns out that the browns are still pretty quiet, and I think it's probably more my sweet spot, so I ended up ordering a set of those. And I would recommend most people interested in this keyboard get either the brown or blue switches from the start. If you're a creative person in the market for a keyboard, the Nuphy Air 75 at its current price of $110 US is pretty hard to beat in terms of aesthetics and non-gimmicky functionality. Especially for those that are unfamiliar or unwilling to make their own keyboards, this is one of the most functional and portable options I can think of. Overall, I'm very satisfied with this keyboard, and I'm looking forward to what Nuphy does next. I'm Skippen, and thank you so much for watching.